The 4B movement is not going to work in the United States of America. It's not.
Hey beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video we want to talk about the 4B movement. So apparently this black man came online to talk about the 4B movement and to talk about how the 4B movement is not going to work in the Western world, in the United States, how the 4B movement is just going to flop because we have a lot of pygmies that are going to still hook up with men and all that. And we wanted to give a lot of reasons why this whole 4B movement is not going to work. If you're wondering what the 4B movement is, I've done a couple of videos on this before, but the 4B movement is a movement that started off in South Korea, where South Korea women came up to say, you know what, we're not going to have sex with men, we're not going to have kids with men, like have children with men, we're not going to marry men, and we're not going to date men. And this has struck a bigger conversation, the feminist movement in South Korea, and this is widely spreading now in the Western world and even on social media, and we women were talking about it. And this movement kind of resonates with a lot of women. And I feel personally this is like a little bit threatening to the men folks. Okay, so in this video is going to be shared into two parts. So this first part will be women reacting to what this brother has to say. So let's go check out what this brother has to say, then we'll come back and talk more.
All right, this one let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all my thoughts on the 4B movement thing. Okay. First of all, the 4B movement, which was started in 2019 by women in South Korea, they don't want anything to do with men at all. It doesn't matter if the men are good, bad, horrible, whatever. They are restricting access. They're not marrying, not going on dates with men, period. Because they're what their movement is based in is a rejection of quote unquote conservative values over there. Now I'm gonna just say this. The 4B movement is not going to work in the United States of America. It's not. And the reason it's not going to work in the United States of America, for one, is you will always have small sections of pygmies that will still give Pookies and Ray Rays access to the draws. I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It's not gonna work. As long as you have a small cauldron of women giving up the draws to the Pookies, the Ray Rays, whatever the case may be, the 4B movement is dead. You understand me? It is dead on arrival in the West. Now, what I have always told women is that women really have, the 4B movement actually does demonstrate how powerful women really are. What I mean by that is this. I have always told women in my content, ladies, imagine what would happen if every woman in the United States said to even get close to me, to even gain access to me, to even have that as a possibility. You have to demonstrate to me that you have a high income skill or that you're working to obtain a high income skill. You have a certificate, college education, some sort of business, something that shows stability in mental state, income, and have good moral character. And if they display that, and also they have to display a willingness to exclusively deal with you. They don't, because monogamy is going to be more successful than polygamy, and that's my opinion. Y'all can disagree with me all you want. I don't really give a shit. Okay. The fact of the matter is, we don't have men actually acting as if they care about women, and a small percentage of women act like men are just an economic resource. We need each other if the human race is going to survive. It is a stupid ideology. Yes, I said it. It is a stupid ideology to think that you can have a world without men. It is a stupid ideology to think you can have a world without women. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. We need each other for the propagation, if nothing else, for the continuation of the human race, at the minimum. So the 4B movement in South Korea, however, is rooted in simply saying, we don't need men, period, which is just, it's insane to me. The 4B movement is not going to work in the West, but it does show how powerful women actually are. You did.
Please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. Love you to know your thought about everything he said. If you agree with him that you think the 4B movement will not strive in the Western world and the rest part of the world, let me know your own thought down in the comment section. So in this video, we're going to hear women's thoughts on this. Women are going to share their thoughts on this, and there's going to be a part 2 of men sharing their thoughts. So let's go hear what the sisters have to say. Then we'll come back and talk more.
The 4B movement is not going to work in the United States of America. It's not.
Yes, it is. Listen, we can't keep worrying about the small increment of women that are still going to give it away to the Pookies and ladies. There's a majority of women that are now ready to be respected and we are ready to take ourselves seriously and we're not playing. So, sure, there's going to be a small increment of women that's still going to give it away and not be a part of the 4B movement. But guess what? The same men that are going to deal with those kinds of women, they don't even want those kinds of women anyway. So if they don't have access to us and they only have access to them and they don't even want them, they're going to get tired of them and they're going to be forced to still go without anyway. So it's going to work 1,000,000 times over.
The 4B movement is not going to work in the United States of America. It's not. And the reason...
Really? Because given this video and all the other ones that I've seen like this, it's already working. It hasn't even started.
Exactly.
Grown men, full tantrums. All of you out here trying to threaten us, mansplain to women about the 4B movement. Oh, thank goodness you're here to explain to us what it really is. Your argument that there's going to be women who don't participate because they're pick-me-us. Guess what? It doesn't have to be all women. It just has to be enough women to make you scared.
Exactly.
That sounds familiar.
That's what's happening.
The 4B movement, which was started in 2019 by women in South Korea.
I smell fear. I smell the fear of a man that lives in the basement of his mother's house eating cheese sandwiches with the crust cut off, knowing that they're going to have a really good relationship with their hand. Yeah, bye.
The 4B movement is not going to work in the United States of America. It's not.
So this guy is actually not attacking the 4B movement. If you go watch the full video that I'm stitching, he's not anti-4B, but he's saying that he thinks it's not going to work in the United States because a lot of women are still going to be pygmicious. And I think that this is just showing that a lot of people are misunderstanding what the 4B movement is. And I've been noticing this with the 4B movement becoming, you know, more popular on TikTok in the past few days and being talked about widely. I think a lot of people have a false idea of what the 4B movement is really about. So first of all, 4B movement in South Korea is not widespread. It's not all women who are participating in it. It is a small subsector of women. You know, there's also, you know, women who are more like mainstream feminist in South Korea, but the actual 4B movement itself is definitely not the majority of women in South Korea. So I think that there's this false perception that the goal of 4B is to
Eliminate
essentially basically like withhold access to women for men in order to get men to change who they are and become better people and better partners to women. And that is not the goal and intention of 4B. The goal and intention of 4B is truly to give up men, because women who believe in the 4B movement, they have given up on men. They're not trying to get men to act better. That is not the purpose of the 4B movement. It's not about, you know, like playing a game of who will break first or like negotiating or anything like that. It's not about like, you know, withholding things in order to try and get something. It's about literally being done with men and living your life away from men. That's what it's about. It's not about trying to like, you know, withhold things from men until they treat you better. Because, you know, and maybe that is a strategy that will work for some people, but don't call it 4B, because that's not what 4B is. 4B is a philosophy that says that men are beyond hope, and the point of 4B is to live a life that is full and rich and happy without men, with no hope or desire to be with men in the future. That's what it is.
Okay, sis.
I'm going to just say this. The 4B movement is not going to work in the United States of America. It's not.
Sure it will. And one of the ways we know that it'll work is the fact that more and more men are talking about it, trying to say how it's not going to work.
Exactly.
And more men are trying to tell us how we have to settle. Men are scared. And you should be scared. Because 4B movement is moving right along.
Calm down, TikTok. I'm not driving. I'm just sitting in my car. It's funny to me that all these men are like, the 4B movement's not going to work in the West. It's not going to work in the West. You sure, you guys? You seem awfully scared. If it's not going to work, why are you so pressed? Why are you so worried? I keep hearing all kinds of different things about this. Men complaining and saying, oh, the 4B movement's not going to work because women need men, when obviously we don't. They've proven it over in South Korea that they don't need men, and there's no reason that it can't be the same here. And they go on and on about how, oh, we build all your infrastructure, we did all this, we do all the manual labor, we do this, we do that. Do you know why? Do you know why it's a majority men who do the manual labor and who are in all of these top paying jobs and all of these heavy lifting and construction jobs? Do you know why? Because y'all gatekeep those jobs like it's going out of style. You're under the impression that we're not capable of performing these duties, when in fact, we very much are, and we quite often do on a regular basis. Men have stolen so many of women's ideas and inventions and taken credit for so many things that were done by women. It's ridiculous. But no, you guys keep going on about how 4B movement's never gonna work because women in America and in the West in general need men. I think you're gonna be very disappointed. And as far as the argument goes that we need to propagate our species and that at the very least we need to keep it going, why? Why? What good has humanity done for this planet? I think we might just be better if women just said no and we just let it die out. Or at the very least, let the numbers dwindle. I don't see a problem with it. I don't see a downside. But you guys go off. That's fine. You go and think it's not gonna work. Okay.
I'm going to just say this. The 4B movement is not going to work in the United States of America. It's not.
All right, so it's kind of funny to me to hear men talk about why the 4B movement couldn't or wouldn't work here in America or in the West in general. And I think that that is because men are short-sighted. And what I mean by that is that they do not realize all of the extenuating circumstances that go into us dating, having sex, getting married, and having children. Like, there's a reason why Korean women pick those 4 markers, because those are very pivotal and like dangerous points in a woman's life. And I say they're pivotal and dangerous because, okay, dating, just the simple act of going out with a strange man that you don't know, you could not come home. And there was a thread recently on Twitter. Was it on Twitter? I don't know where it was. It was some on social where a woman said that she you know, the man that she went to go link with, again, something I do not support. Do not be going to these men's houses because, girl, what? She linked with him in his house and he asked her, oh, do you have your location on? And she was like, yeah, like I share it with my friends or whatever. And he went in this whole rant and tirade about how he don't like women put their locations on and why people gotta know where he live and la 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 and ooh and ray. Oh, and what else did he say? He said, if I was gonna do something to you, it would take too long for somebody to get here anyway. That's just on a date, right? And we could talk about what dates looks like, what dating looks like in the black community because we already know what's. But that's the dating. Then to get married, right? The unpaid labor of women. Men don't understand that a lot of the success that you think this man has, whatever big bro, whoever you have, there's a whole bunch of women in the back doing all types of unpaid, unseen labor that afford this man the ability to do things that
People trying to figure out, well, how does it get done? Yeah, how does it get done? How does it get done? How does it get done? Okay, if men are looking at women as sources of unpaid labor, whether it's emotional labor, physical labor, mental labor, all of those things count. That's work. So now that's marriage, right? Before you even have kids, before you even make life with this person, how you gonna live with this man? Who's gonna do the cooking, the cleaning, the washing, the this, that, and the third? Is you a maid? Are you the housekeeper? Are you a cook? Are you a veg? All them things there, right? Right. Then we get to the childbirth, the pregnancy, where we already know that black women are the highest rate. We have the highest rate of death when it comes to childbirth. We are the ones who the doctor will let, the nurse will let us. They will not listen to us. They will not believe us when we say that our back hurts, our this hurts, our that hurts. I think something's wrong, blah, blah, blah. Serena Williams, Olympian, icon, beloved international figure, had to have her husband advocate for her because the doctors didn't want to listen to her. She already knew she had a issue with blood clots and embolisms. She already knew that. She's an athlete. She know her body. Doctors didn't want to listen to her. She could have died. If we could have lost Serena Williams, what do you think that means for Tisha around the corner? And like, what are we talking about? What are we saying? That's just in giving birth. Oh my gosh, damn, excuse my fire alarm because I got to change the battery, I guess. I don't know. All right, say you survived the birth. You survived the childbirth. Good for you. Great. What kind of maternity leave you got? How much you going to be paid? How long can you stay home with your baby before you got to pay for childcare? How long are you allowed to stay home? Paid, comfortable, with food, rent, all that stuff covered. How long is that going to last before you have to go back to work? And then when you go back to work, who are you paying to watch your child? If you don't have a family member that you could trust to leave your child with. Childcare is up to $600 a week. $600 a week. Some people don't even make that in a week. Some people make a little bit over that, and that's all their whole check is going to childcare. America is not subsidizing our childcare. They're not paying for that. They're not doing anything like that. So, yeah. To have a baby is a big risk. It's not even, oh, if you get married, even if you get married, you could die. You could lose, you're losing income no matter which way you slice it. You're losing money. Okay. If you have a job that you can't work from home, I don't have a job that I can work from home. I gotta be at work. If I'm gonna go back to work, I work a 12-hour day on set on my feet. I can't work from home. There's no position in my department that's working from home. So the closest thing I could think of would be our shopper. And now I'll have a baby in the back seat and I'll just be riding all over the New York City buying and running back and forth to set. I've never even seen nobody do that. I'm gonna just keep it a stat. I've never seen anybody do that. There's a lot of things that, like, a lot of industries that women with children just get totally locked out of because if you don't have the childcare, if you don't have the money, if you're not independently wealthy, if you cannot sustain yourself, all those things, that opportunity is not even afforded to you. So, yeah. Which brings me all the way to the top of the conversation. Why won't it work? I think as you have more women making real deal, Holyfield, in the field decisions about their life, they take all of these things into account. You have to take all these things into account. It can't be enough that, oh, I'm in love with this man and he wants a kid. It has to be, okay, if this man, anything happened to this man, anything, that's not even barring if the man want to get up and leave me. I'm just talking about the man could walk outside, get licked down by a bus, and then next thing you know, you don't have the man no more. How you gonna live? Where's your family? Where's your community? Where's your village? Where you gonna live? Where the kids gonna go to school? Like, all these things still have to be taken care of and taken into account. So, why won't it work? Oh, okay. I'm not really seeing no reasons why it would work. I don't really think men understand that until there is something of equal and greater value coming up against to mitigate some of the issues that women are bringing up about dating, marriage, childbirth, child rearing, all that shit. I don't care about what y'all think about what we doing, whether it's gonna work or not. That worked wasn't working for us. So did it really work? Like, we need equitable solutions for all at this point. And when people's going on talking about, oh, but if nobody's having kids, then what about it? What about it? What about it? You're not about to shame me into having a baby that I can't afford and that you ain't gonna help me take care of. Are you nuts? Now I got postpartum depression. I can't even go to the doctor. But does that make sense? Like, men are just harping on the fact that women saying, I'm just gonna keep my legs closed. Y'all mad. Before it was choose better. Now when I'm choosing better, which is me, now it's, okay, wait a minute now, hold on. Stop.
Please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this video down in the comment section, but please keep it respectful. Yeah, on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So feel free, share your opinion, but please be respectful as always. So let me know your own thought about this 4B movement and what you think the 4B movement is, because the sister that was explaining the 4B movement, talking about how a lot of women think this is a way to get men checked, withhold our assets so that they don't have access to us, so that they can behave better, when really the 4B movement is women just literally saying we're not dealing with men anymore, we're just going to live our life without men having access to us, and we're just going to live our happy life not dealing with them. So let me know what you think it is, because initially I feel like this is just for us as women to claim our power and to say, you know what, this is for us. And like, if you're not going, because society already treats women like the worst, like we know that, we already have that conversation over and over again, and now this is us saying that, you know what, if you guys don't want to be a better person in society, then we're not dealing with you. I know that that's my own take of the 4B movement, when women are saying no, they're not going to interact with men, no sex with men, no bearing children with men, no dating men, no marrying men. For me, these are the things I feel like, if you guys are going to treat us like trash, like we are second-hand human beings, then we're not even going to deal with you guys anymore. If you guys are not ready for us to come to the table and deal with it, then no, we're not dealing with that anymore. For me, that is my own take of the 4B movement. So it was really interesting to hear what the sister had to say and how she really broke it down. That's really like, and yes, it is true, it's not the entire South Korea women that are on this movement. It is majority, few, like not majority, like few of them that are on this movement. But I personally am of this movement, because I am of the opinion that men should be desensitized, because men has been sensitized all our life, and we need to claim our power back. So but for that man to come to tell us about how this 4B movement is not going to succeed because men need women clinical, for me it just stems from like fear. I've heard so many men. I think I'm just going to do a compilation of men actually speaking about the 4B movement, but they've been talking about it lately, and for me I'm just like, okay, this is a feminist movement, so why are you guys talking about it? Just leave us alone. We don't care. We don't want to interact with you guys. We don't want to deal with you guys anymore. If you guys choose to be the purples and the rays, like, we don't want you guys no more, and we're fine without you guys. And what a lot of men don't understand is that we now, the women now, we've tapped into that place where we know we are fine without men. We can depend on them. They are weaponized, incompetent. Like literally, we can really spot their games now and know their intentions. And now we're choosing ourselves and know what we're going to do ourselves. Financially, we're securing ourselves. We're securing the bag up and getting it all up. So I feel like the men are really, really scared of it. They're like, you know what? These women, by the time they eventually eliminate us and say, you know what? We're not doing you guys anymore. Sorry, guys. I'm distracted. So I feel like most men are really scared about this. Like clearly this video is women's reaction. I'm going to do the men's reaction, which I didn't really think about it. I'm going to look for the men's reaction to this man's video and do their own part. Probably that will be the video next, or the video after that one, because I didn't plan to separate this video into two. But clearly these men are scared, and the way we women were moving now, I feel like I love how we're living, because now we're doing the work, we're doing the healing, we're knowing who we are getting the bag up, we're protecting ourselves, we're looking out for ourselves, we're not easily manipulated with what society say, like, oh, this is how it is. Like, we are very intentional about how we live our life, and I feel like this scares men and the patriotic system of how we women were moving, especially the millennials and the Gen Z. Like, it's scaring them, and a lot of the Bloomer and Gen X are telling us like, yeah, you guys on the right path, like keep on going, because there's nothing on this way. This path we took didn't take us anywhere, so you guys are on the right path. So I feel like the men are scared, but I really love to know what you think about this conversation. I'm going to do a part 2 of this video probably tomorrow, and then we hear the men's thoughts on this. But please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. But please, 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 as always, keep it respectful. Yeah, on this channel we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So feel free, share your thoughts. Please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We are banging conversation. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.